Hey guys.
Alright guys, we're here today to check out the Patreon poll winner of the week, none other than Amorphis, with On the Dark Waters, a song out of their latest upcoming record, Halo, out February 11th, if I'm not mistaken. I already did a review for the album, so you guys can check that out. So I obviously know the song, but I haven't watched the video. And it won the Patreon poll of the week, and this guy hasn't heard the song or watched the video, so fuck it, we're here to rock and roll with Amorphis. Are
Yeah.
you ready for this shit?
I'm ready.
Alright, let's do it.
Clambering against the currents, swiftly sailing the black waters. No water cast around its fore, no trail left behind its shaft. No oars there to be seen, no sail hoisted on its mast. It sailed a boat of moon, still the silent ship of death, as it flew and dove and made its way upstream, waiting at the dark headwaters, where our people's sullen silence
I obviously want to hear your take because you hadn't heard the song before I have. But before you go, I just want to say that for those of you at home really worried about the well-being of Amorphis, they made it out of the forest alive and well. Amorphis hasn't been lost to the forests of Finland. So I just want to let you guys know. Because I've spoke to Tommy, there's an interview coming later in the week. So you guys don't want to miss that. We're going to dive really deep into Halo, the making of the record, the creative process behind the album, the lyrics, the music, his vocals, the overall style and feel that this record offers the listener. You definitely don't want to miss that later this week. All right, now that I plugged our own channel on our own video, your take on the Dark Waters, and maybe start off. You want to start off by talking about the song, or do you want to compare it a little bit with the Moon?
The Moon, the previous single.
The previous single. Where do you want to start? I'm going to leave it up to you.
I like this one better.
All right, that's where you're starting. All right,
that's where I'm starting.
Too.
We've talked about the album before, me and you,
well, you've asked me after I listened to the album.
You were listening to it in the car, and I just joined you, and we kind of had this discussion. I think we came out on a even playing field here. I think we have the same idea, but
well, with your limited exposure to the record,
exactly. I'm not going to pretend I know the entire record.
You heard a piece here and a piece there.
I've heard almost every song. I didn't hear this one though, but I'm kind of halfway there. Anyways. Anyways, when it comes to a song throughout the listening to the album as intended from start to finish, the first song you said it makes more sense.
Sounds better.
It sounds better.
In the context of the record, The Moon sounds amazing.
It sounds better.
As a single, I'm still not sold.
This one, in the concept of, I'm
this
guessing,
one works both,
and that's why I think I like this one more, because it for me, a perfect song is something that can do that. It can work both as something that I can put in my playlist and something I can listen to start to finish when it comes to the album itself, and I think that's why I enjoy this one a lot better.
For me, the reasons why this was one of my favorite songs of the album. And one of the reasons for that has a lot to do with the vocals. Because Tommy's vocals on this song hits you up with the harsh vocals. Then you have those super melodic, clean vocals in the chorus. And that is a dynamic that I really like. And then the melody that the song had, the chorus is super, super melodic.
Yeah.
The chorus is so freaking melodic.
But it's perfect.
Musically and vocally.
Yeah, musically, amazing. Vocally, obviously, it's going to be amazing. I mean, it's him. But his vocals in the chorus are only as good as they are because
the melody behind lifts it up.
Exactly.
I agree. And then when it goes into the verses, the song is still melodic. It still has a guitar push. This album is very guitar-driven, in my opinion. Very proggy and very guitar-driven. And you feel that melody and you feel that movement that the song has in the verses. But the heaviness really comes from the harsh vocals because the song is still super melodic, just a different type of melody between verses and chorus.
More of a,
the chorus more lifts you up, and the other one kind of like smooths you and takes you away.
Yeah. It doesn't bring you down. It just kind of,
it just takes you away, almost like the flow of a calm river. It just takes you away very slowly. So I love that, and I love that the heaviness of the track really comes from his harsh vocals in those verses. So I love this track. I love the movement that it has. And the first time that I heard this song, the thing that I didn't love it like at first. When I first heard this song in the concept of listening to the album, and then the guitar melody comes in, it sounds like something Middle Eastern almost. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, what's happening here? Like, there was no hint that you were going to get something like that in the track. And it kind of felt, at first glance, the first time I listened to the song, it felt like a little bit out of place. Because I was expecting, like, your typical Amorphis solo, like over-the-top solo, maybe have, like, dual solo, something along those lines. And it wasn't. It was something different. It sounded different. It felt different. But then the more I heard the song, the more that merged into the overall feel of the track. And they used that sort of melody in a few other tracks throughout the album. So once again, it comes back to when you listen to the album from beginning to end, something that when you listen to the song on its own feels a little bit out of place.
It makes complete sense.
It makes complete sense in the overall context of the record because you're kind of going to get hints of it here and there. So it doesn't feel like they just parachuted into one track and that is it. No, they used certain elements sporadically throughout the record that on their own may sound a little bit different and outside the box, but in the context of the record, It's just the it's a little Easter egg, if you will. So this is an album that really is worth for the whole. It's hard for me to say this song is a single. I mean, this song definitely is a single, but it's hard for you to pick songs that become the pillars of a record. Sometimes albums, you have 3-4 songs that are the pillars of the record, and then the other ones they're good, but they kind of fill in the gaps, and they're more fillers, if you will.
Yeah.
This record is not really built that way. This record is really built as a record. So there's tracks on this album that you really need the whole album and listening in the order of the album for you to get. Like I said, The Moon. When you listen to the album, that song sounds 100 times better in the context of the record. But there's some songs that still work outside, work better inside. This one works either way you go at it. It's just a magnificent track. What did you think about that melody there? Because it's perhaps the thing that comes a little bit more out of left field out of the entire song.
Yeah, but I thought it was beautiful. I think the whole song in general is just a beautiful experience in itself. But that part where it kind of, I don't want to say it slowed down, but it was just harsh vocals, and it gave you kind of like a bounce to it. I would say more of a bounce flow to it, right? That didn't come out of like, I wasn't expecting something like that, but I enjoyed it a lot. With the harsh vocals feeling kind of.
I think you have to look at this song as on the dark waters of the river of death. There's some religions and there's some cultures that believe that there's the river that you have to cross between the land of the living and the death, and so this song kind of, to me, it feels like it represents that sort of mood, that sort of vibe. So the waters are calm, but in that calm there is death, and in that death there's despair and harshness, which you get the harsh vocals from it.
But in that part, it gave me the same feeling. Now I'm not going to say they sound the same, but it gave me the same feeling as the more bouncier parts of Judgment and Punishment from
Ginger?
Yeah.
Well, really?
Just give me a feeling.
Okay.
Sound different.
I was going to say they don't sound nothing alike.
But I'm talking about the feeling it gave me.
The emotion that you got out of one is the similar emotion
you got out of the other. I got out of the other. Oh, more of a. It was, even though there was harsh vocals, it was more. It gave me a calm type feel to it. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, it's that death embrace.
It's that death embrace. It's harsh, but it's calming and warm at the same time.
Yeah, because with the end. With death,
it's
with
that
the
warm
end,
embrace.
There's also a feeling that nothing worse can happen after. I mean, like that is the end. I mean, like there's nothing that you need to worry about anymore. Like all the worries of the world are gone, right?
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of an embrace, a feeling of comfort. Like you can finally let go.
Yeah.
You can finally let go. Maybe that's where you got from both songs in terms of the emotions. So this one for you.
This one is way better than the first one.
I still think everybody needs to pick up the album, because the album is really good. Halo is a strong record from Amorphis from start to finish. I mean, when was the last time these guys released a dud? I can't even think of an album that was a dud. Now, for the fans that discover the band, perhaps with Queen of Time, this album is going to be a little bit harder to digest.
Because it's different.
Because it's different. Like I said, a little bit more proggy, guitar-driven, so it's a different record. But for the fans of the band that have been on the journey with Amorphis, that are familiar with their discography, I don't feel like this album is going to come out of left field. There's going to be a lot of new elements in it, but it's going to be one of those records that you're just going to enjoy discovering it. That's what it comes down to. You just sit back, you press play, and you enjoy the whole experience of listening to it and discovering the songs. It's a beautiful thing. All right, guys. Thank you to everybody that voted on the Patreon poll of the week and Amorphis finish number uno. We will be back tomorrow with more videos for your viewing pleasure. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.
See ya.